tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Yeah.
So crazy.
Yeah,
so
it does
crazy.
make you crazy.
Super crazy.
So crazy.
Yeah.
We're all crazy.
So
up in
many
here.
crazy
It's just
people.
so many crazy people out there. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, you're in the right place. It is the one and only Catfish After Show. I'm your host, Lem Gonsalves. Make sure that you follow us on AfterBuzz TV and subscribe. AfterBuzz TV backslash what was it, YouTube channel? So YouTube backslash AfterBuzz TV. It's late right now.
Keep this music going, by the way.
Yeah. I think the whole show.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Mine as well, because it fits perfect.
You know what I'm saying? You can also follow me at The Poet Saint, and that's on all the social medias. To my left, as always, we got my boy, Nicholas Grava.
What's up, guys? You can follow me at Nicholas Grava, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all that fun stuff.
Jeff Thurm, say hello to the people.
What's up, guys? Missed you last week. Happy to be back.
Yeah.
Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Jeff_Thurm.
Jimmy V. Baird.
What's going on? It's your man Jimmy V. Follow me at Be Your Own Dad. Hit us up. We want to hear from you.
All right, so let's get into this.
Let's get crazy.
Yeah, let's get all the way crazy. So, and we've said this, since we've kind of done this second half of the season 4, but they, continue to kind of do new things. And the new thing this one was there was a 10-year relationship. So they made a point to say that this was the longest one. Now, relationship obviously is loose, very loose.
I think the new thing. I'm sorry. I think the new thing this time was that she already knew it was a catfish.
Right.
She snitched on herself.
That's another thing
alert,
too.
like-
that is another thing.
In
that
the
is another
first
thing.
5 minutes,
We
we establish it's a girl, and then we watch the show for an hour.
Right.
But she didn't want to believe it, so I don't understand what was going through her head the whole 10 years. I mean,
Well, okay, so let's set this right. She meets this person online through a site which I've never heard of.
Me neither. Bebo?
Yes,
Y'all
Bebo.
hear of it?
I've never heard
No,
of that.
but shout out to
in
the
my life.
MTV graphics department for
Yeah.
getting those old school text messages
Oh,
back on the screen.
Right,
Like,
I remember that with the little nasty
my
Nokia phone.
God.
Oh yeah,
Memories,
I did have
memories.
that. I did
Snake.
have that.
Playing
Yes.
Snake.
Oh, I used to
Snake.
play it on my
Oh,
Netflix. I mean,
every
what is
day.
it? Nextel.
Yeah,
Netflix.
yeah,
I can't
absolutely.
even
Do it
tell.
in next
So,
time. Is that the
so
one
yeah,
you need?
so
Yeah.
so she meets her on Bebo. She's like 12 years old, right? So
Yeah.
she's super young. And then she's 21, so she's still a young person. But through this time frame, by the time she's 12, going on 21, she's having this relationship over the course of this time. Now, one of the things that I thought was interesting, I don't know if you caught it, but you kind of skimmed through it. I know.
I think you're gonna say it, yeah.
So one of the and a lot of times in these type of, again, I use the term loosely, relationship. It is relationship to them. So but they're there for them, right? They end up staying and they end up kind of enduring a lot of, lies and hardships and things of that nature, because at the end of the day, that person is there for them. They are there for that person, right?
Right.
In this case, she was mentioning she's been there for me all this time, and she was there during a miscarriage that I
say it. I
had.
know it.
And
I
was
know
like,
it.
wait, can we rewind, please? Like,
Miscarriage.
Hold on. Now, if she's in a relationship,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
how is that possible? And I love how they just like ran through it and then like kept moving. Did you catch that?
Yes. Yeah, we talked about it.
What? Please tell me, share with me what you thought.
I mean, who's baby? Why are you still there? If David is in love with this person
Right.
and she's cheating on him,
Right.
Clearly.
Where's the anger from that? Who's the baby daddy? I know I already said that, but yeah.
But we really want to know
wanna
who's
know.
the baby
Right,
daddy.
right.
And producers, you did a terrible job. This is a huge story point, something very important for the viewers.
Right.
What happened?
I don't know. I
Left
don't
us
know.
hanging.
I thought it was really, really interesting that she said that like that, and they didn't
Like,
like
so
probe
casual.
her. Super casual. They didn't like follow up on it.
Yeah, I was a little upset by them that they didn't even question
say
it.
anything. Right.
It's like a red flag.
Sure.
It's a big red flag.
It's also like a very emotional thing to go through. You know, whenever they go through like the death of a dad, and that's why they are talking to someone online. Like they go into the psychological background of like why they are so attached to these people.
Right.
This one, they're just like, oh, cool, you have miscarriage. All right, so like
They skimmed right
So
by
let's
it.
see what pictures you
so
got.
now you dropped out of school. Yeah, cool.
Oh
great.
yeah,
Awesome.
Which
Yeah.
shows. Okay, so I was thinking 10 years. It's a stale relationship. Yeah, you're talking, but how important is it? When she said she dropped out of school, I'm like, oh, she's still in the mentality that this is extremely real and I mean baffling.
I think, and this is just my little, hood therapist mentality, you know what I'm saying, kind of thinking. I was thinking that maybe she's, started, again, she's super young, she's puppy love, whatever. She's in this relationship, so to speak. And then there is a time where it does get stale because, they're not meeting each other, they're not seeing each other, they're just talking on the phone or on the line or what have you. So she kind of steps out and does her thing, gets pregnant, and then that person, who she feels is with her, David, is with her, and it's like, oh, I got you, and all this kind of stuff. Because again, at the end of the day, it's not really David, it's somebody else.
Yeah.
So
So you think that's a way to circle back?
I think so.
Yeah,
I
that's
think so.
true.
I think that's what initially happened, and they could have probed and they just cut it out or what have you, thinking it wasn't relevant or what have you. But once she said that, I was like, oh, okay, red flag.
it was
but
too.
anyway, so the other interesting thing was she got those pictures because she said, if you don't give me anything to work with, I'm going to put you on Catfish.
That's like holding the gun to the head, like, come on, tell me.
Right,
Tell me the
right.
truth right
I'm
now.
going to put you on Catfish.
And then she's like, okay, or he decides to say,
Right.
okay, here's my picture, here's my weird picture with the mask on, here's my ID,
Right.
And she's like, no, it's a guy.
And my favorite part about all this is that in the email to Nev and Max, she says in all caps, I really need you guys.
Right.
Like, you did this all on your own.
It was
the
done for her.
friend.
Like it was done for her. Yeah.
But isn't that even more baffling of like, not only does she believe it,
Right.
but her closest friend is like, no, I know it's a boy.
It
It's
is.
definitely
It
a
is.
boy. Yeah.
I think what ends up happening, and I think it's just a tell. I think this is a very stretched out case of what we've seen before. But you believe what you want to believe when you're in these situations.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally, it was staring her, like literally staring her in the face. There was a driver's license on her phone with an address, with like all of this, correct information that can be traced. And in her mind, no, I've been talking to a guy, I've seen pictures, and this is who it is. But there's something fishy.
Also, 10 years, you have an address in front of you. You never go to the address.
Right.
You don't even do a drive-by.
Now, she doesn't have had the address for 10 years, but
No,
she
whatever
obviously
point,
has had
but
it at some point.
Those
Correct.
letters came in with the address on it, too.
Correct.
And
Correct.
you never do a
Did
drive-by.
it. Not at all.
My
not
favorite,
buying it.
actually, I changed what my favorite part of this episode was.
There's a lot of favorites.
Was the dick pic she was sent.
Oh, the dick outline.
The first one, the
original.
I knew you guys
the
were gonna say
original.
something.
The original dick
That's some
pic.
retro shit. And Nev is like up and touching it and feel if this is a real outline.
man
It's like
Nev
I'm
was
trying
like,
to.
wow, how?
Yeah, he's like, let me size this up over here.
We're gonna have to censor this episode, by the way.
I did.
Just a little bit red flag this.
What else I thought? There was a lot of
Oh, we're getting off
interesting
the dick
things.
pic part?
Yeah, we are. There was a lot of interesting things.
Like, this is before
with this.
Snapchat, so like you have to draw
That was
it
the
out.
only option.
You have to draw, and you can't even send picture messages on those old Nokia
Right.
phones
No,
when you're
you
playing
can't.
Snake.
Right.
He was like sending his real Snake.
Right.
Oh.
Okay.
I'm done.
So
We can move on now.
As I was trying to say, move on. But no, I thought there was a lot
And
of
they thought it was
interesting
really big too. They were like, "Oh my god,
Well, it did
this is."
seem big by the outline. He was out. He was like, yeah, I think this is an outline. And I'm like,
So-
woo, Andria.
Real
That's
question is, so we find out it's actually a female. Whose actually dick was it? That's the real
Oh, we
question.
we really think it's a real word.
No, that's just a freehand. That's some freehand
First
stuff,
of
I
all,
think.
that is. I think we can dispel all of that.
You asked me that in the room when we were watching
That's
it too.
right.
all of that can be dispelled. Like
snitching on
everything.
me,
Like
bro? You
once it's a female, it's like, okay, all of this is shenanigans. Like, let's keep it real. One thing that I did want to mention that I thought was interesting also is that the pictures that were used, usually they probe on that. They always find out who are these pictures.
I didn't
Who are these
know
pictures?
that.
No one ever brought that up. And again,
Like,
I don't
who's
know if
the
it's
real
editing
David?
or anything like that. They didn't think it was important, but always they ask, like, who are you using? That never came up. Even when they
Catfish,
talked to her, even when, and it could be a situation where, going back to what I said originally, they're trying to shake things up. And so they're trying to make moves and do different things that we wouldn't think. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, go ahead.
No, go for it.
Do you need? I think you do. You need approval if you show any picture of anybody on a show,
Yes.
right? So this person that they show pictures of, they identify and know who this person is.
Theoretically, so I have heard in the past that although the catfishing and the experience is all very real, it's a very real, genuine show. Sometimes if a person's pictures don't sign off, they might be using someone else's pictures who did sign off. So, for example, if they're like that David, like she might have been catfished by a David, but that might not be the David that was catfishing her. They may have asked like you to use your pictures, even though you weren't the person.
Catfish is catfishing us with fake photos. I guess that actually makes sense.
I'm under the impression that they have gone after people to use their pictures as fake pictures just for that part of the story.
For the
Makes
sake of the
sense,
story.
okay, yeah.
Kind of like when you do a reenactment or something like
correct.
that. And then you
Which could make sense in the breakdown I saw on when they were looking for specific people on the show. Maybe that is the same
Now,
case.
hopefully we will have someone from a casting department at some point this season to help us
That'd be cool.
with more of that.
That would be dope. Shout out to
stay
MTV.
tuned if that may happen or not.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to that.
But yeah, I thought that was very interesting too, that they didn't do that. But I think it's because they had enough information that they didn't need to.
And that could be it too, because like I said, she basically told on herself. She's like, okay, it's me. This is it. You got me. I don't want to be on Catfish, so here's my driver's license.
Did we get a time frame of when she did that? I don't remember.
I think it's obviously more recent, because if you look at the picture, she's an adult. She looks pretty much the same. So I would say at least within the last year or two, somewhere around there.
But what I did find funny is, again, we always talk about like the investigative work that they have to do. Like this time, they didn't even do Google image search because they didn't need to. They just literally typed her email address into Google.
Right.
Boom.
That was it. And then found her Facebook page. And then her alter ego.
This girl even calls her out. She's like, I'm going to put you on Catfish. And then she gets the pictures. And then she doesn't even like search.
I'm sorry. I can't sit here and say I believe this at all. It doesn't make any sense to me. It makes sense to any of y'all that you get a picture 10 years and you're going to totally say no way for sure. Like she didn't even have a doubt in her mind that this was the person.
Okay, so
how's that possible?
Well, okay, let's go to one thing that she could not get past, and that was the voice, right? She was talking to this person on the phone.
I still can't get past the voice even after seeing it in person.
And
really?
the voice.
You thought it sounded like a guy 100%, is that what you're saying?
Even when she like walked out of the house, she's like, yo.
Yeah, she did sound like a guy. There were times that, like, and I think because it's a woman, you're
that
like,
you
oh,
hear
okay,
different.
you hear
That's
different,
true. Okay.
And that is just your mind doing that.
Yeah.
So, but when she first played the voice message, even though we already knew it was a woman, it sounded like it could be a guy. So I could see where you get that, and then her getting these pictures is a situation like, well, maybe she's trying to throw me off, or he's trying to throw me off, and maybe this is somebody we need to investigate who this woman is. Just not putting two and two together.
The logic that.
I mean, I think that's what she's preparing herself
because there have been catfishes in the past that have used like their brother's voice,
sure.
like their brother or cousin would call and
have
be
the whole
guy.
plan.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And there was a catfish that I remember specifically, which I thought was crazy. This was a couple of seasons back, where it was a female who was acting like a guy. It was actually the girl's best friend.
Yes, and they went to the catfish together.
Yeah,
and she was
it
like,
found out that it was her, and she
Oh.
actually said, because she was using her own voice, but she changed her voice in these voices,
Just like
and then she did it on camera, and it was a trip, because she's like, because she's talking like a regular female, so like, you went, rah, 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 and she did that, and you're just like, oh shoot. So I mean, that's another situation.
We heard that with Christina. Even when she like first picked up the call, she talked in her like man voice, and then she went back to her female voice.
Sure.
And then when she first walked out of the house, she did the man voice too.
Right. Yeah, she was kind of fluctuating throughout. I mean, she just had a deep voice. Regardless, the situation, I think, again, it goes back to you believe what you want to believe.
That's true.
So, like you said, they do their research. They find that it is Christina. It's for sure her, aka Geostain, which I think is a weird name.
I leave stains in life.
Yeah.
Hashtag real realizing real.
Hashtag real realizing real. Even though she's completely fake, so that's the opposite.
Well, I mean, force it much with the like say it once, maybe I'll believe it. You drop it 3 times, I'm questioning it.
Well, and that's what people do. People that are lying, they have to overcompensate.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think that's what the name, hence the name, hence the letter, and it's all these things that she was doing.
I hope that hashtag is trending tonight.
real realizing real.
We should have that. Make sure you tweet realizing real. I can't even say it.
ABTV realizing real.
Exactly.
All right.
We want to get that
We'll
going.
retweet you.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. So they actually and it was funny too because again it goes back to David, which we know Christina was also blowing her up when they would go out 25 times, up to 500 times a night. So again, and
with a voicemail every single one.
And the funny thing is when they do confront her, she's like, "Oh, I was just playing," or "Oh, I wasn't in love," and
she showed dedication. Okay. 30 calls? Are we serious?
That
crazy.
is me after way too many drinks, calling my exes.
Listen,
trying to
on some Drake, Marvin room.
Right.
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's crazy. So they decide, and this is probably the second time this season where they're like, you know what? We don't need to get permission to see her. Let's go down there.
I said they got some balls. They've thrown some balls. Yes, they said no.
We're just gonna go down.
We're coming anyway.
Yeah,
we got
like,
an address.
We don't need permission. And I'm like, no, you do, kind of.
Yeah.
They go down there. So, but in the midst of them going down there, she does say that it's okay. She's down to meet.
Yep.
They get a text on the way, like when it looks like they're right outside her house. Christina comes out, and then it's interesting how says, how does this whole thing start? And she said a $25 bet.
Yeah, we believe that. Then. Who believes it? Who doesn't?
I did, because that would be a perfectly fine reason to start this.
Not enough reason to hold through for 10 years.
Thank you. Okay, exactly.
Not enough reason to hold on. I do agree with you, Jimmy, that it is a reason to start it, especially when you're that young. You're 12,
That's
13
true.
years
You're
old.
young. You're messing around on the internet. You're like, Bebo.
Bebo.
Wait, what's the bet though? I bet you 25. I bet you won't message that girl.
I bet you won't pretend to be a guy.
Pretty much. Yeah. Pretty much. I mean, you do crazy, stupid things when you're young.
I'll do it for $25 right now.
And
done. Profile made.
Done. I'll do it for a Coke.
So
hilarious. So that's how it started. But if what she says is true, I believe that she did that and then continued it because she did catch feelings. Because what I do
she probably
agree,
bet herself $25. She doesn't have any friends to fucking
right. What I do agree that she did say is that she does not have any close friends. I agree that she doesn't.
She didn't say that.
What?
Whoa.
Right.
She was saying that this bond. Right. Watch yourself, Max. I mean, sorry. Whoa.
Okay.
Sorry.
What's your name? What's your name? Right.
Yeah, what's
it doesn't
your name?
matter.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I really want to know if at any point, she was patted down. Because I thought Max was gonna get shot or stabbed.
I didn't think he was gonna get shot or stabbed, but I was like, if she starts to throw down, Max is screwed.
Max is fucked.
She's got him.
Yeah.
She outweighed Max probably by 50 pounds or so.
She just seemed angrier too. I did not believe that Max was gonna hold up. I didn't think 5 seconds enough.
No, but I mean, obviously, there's protection there, and I mean, I didn't think Max was in danger. I mean, they've been into some crazy stuff.
He was feisty though.
He was, because I think he was calling her out on her BS.
Yes.
Because it's like you're sitting there, you know the truth, right? Mm-hmm. And you're sitting watching this person basically just flat out lie and just continue to lie to cover themselves. Like she kept saying the whole thing about oh yeah, well she's been dirty too. She was bogus too. All this stuff, and she sent fake pictures, and they questioned her, and they were actually going to get on her. And she says, okay, I had this MySpace thing where I put up her profile, and then I immediately took it down, and then that was it. There was nothing else in 9 years. But her whole thing was Christine was saying, oh yeah, she's done this. I got pictures, and they find out later that she's just full of lies. She's just lying on top of lies on top of lies.
It was really interesting to see them not believe Andria at first, and then for Max and Nev to be caught up in the manipulation of the lies too, and then be like, all right.
Then they believe it. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
I still question though. I feel like I'm always the negative dude. You know what? I don't know. I didn't believe it. I don't know. When she was at first, she said this is what I question with people. When at first they deny everything,
right,
and then they admit to a little bit. Mm-hmm. It's like if you're a person that tells the truth, you're just gonna admit it all at the beginning.
Right.
So if you're now just gonna admit to a little bit, I don't believe that you're suddenly just showing your whole playbook. So I think when she made that MySpace with the same name but a different photo, but to find out if the person would accept her, like, no, that doesn't make sense. You'd use a different photo and a different name. That would add up to anybody. I think she could have held it a little bit longer than she thinks, or at least is admitting to. I think she was kind of double catfish.
And she was, but she was also,
you don't think
13, 14 too? I mean,
at the beginning.
But that's what you said. She did it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she was legitimately trying to find out if her boyfriend was on other social medias, like lying to her and cheating on her. I think she was like,
with the same name, different photo.
Why
not name
switch
yourself
up the
Kathy?
name? Thank you.
She was 13.
Yeah.
I mean,
Dumb.
I'm just saying.
We're gonna chalk it up to dumb.
I mean, I'm just saying immature or
Yeah.
just not really knowing. I mean, this girl right now is only 21. You know, I mean, she's at the end of the day, she's a young person. Christine is also a young person. I'm not saying that being young constitutes being foolish or being young constitutes lying or anything like that. I'm just trying to put it in perspective. I think
Which could be the case.
Yeah,
She's saying is the case.
Yeah, and I think that she did it, and it was whatever, it was stupid, or it just didn't really make a lot of sense. But she did say she took it down, and I believe her that she did. And once they saw how manipulative Christine was, and how she kept double backing her story, and how Max wanted to put on the gloves, and was just like, "Yo, you suck," like just calling her out basically. And I like that. I actually like that in Max to basically be like, "Yo, you're tripping," because.
And then did you catch that Nev shook her hand after that?
Yeah.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time. And then she snatches off the microphone. She's like, "I'm out of here. I'm done."
Yeah, she's sitting alone in a room.
That's the other thing about when they get to Christine's house in the very beginning. She walks out and she's already fully mic'd.
Was she mic'd or were they booming that until they talked to her and they
I don't know.
But it could be.
It was a wide shot of the house.
It was a wide shot.
So that
did they have her angle when she came out?
Yeah.
Seeing them?
The camera was like behind them and she walked down the step and she was like, "Hello."
I think she was mic'd, and the reason why I say that is because of how, you know, the appearance and how she came out, and, you know, you could hear her from jump. But also remember, she gave them the okay before they got there. So once she gave them the okay, I can see the producers going and miking her and just, you know what I'm saying? And it's not like, and it wasn't like a surprise of who she was.
It's like, yo, in a second they're coming up. So
exactly.
Turn around, but here we go. Tuck it in.
Exactly. Like I don't think that's far fetched.
Well, let me ask you guys. You guys are at the crib. Knock knock. I think we spoke about this last week. You see a camera crew out front. Are you opening up the door?
No. Even if I said yes, I'm still not opening up the damn
Ryan
door.
Seacrest on Knock Knock.
Yes. What's up,
That was Publishers Clearinghouse. They had money for me. Yes, I'm opening the door.
Check.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely opening the door. I mean,
you roll up with 3 cameras.
Yeah. And you know, I mean, and at that point, if somebody's coming, if the Catfish crew is coming to your house, you know why they're there. Like, let's keep it real.
If the Catfish crew is coming to your house, you already know they're coming, and you're already part of it, and you've already signed off on it.
Exactly. So
we got you.
There it is. One thing that was also interesting to kind of just back up the fact that she was just, you know, a big liar and foul and whatever bogus, is that after they do the follow up, you know, and they find out that she's been still hitting her up. She's still been hitting Andria up like what, every day or something like that. Just kept on. So it was like she said that just to kind of front in front of the cameras and in front of Nev and Max and try to be all like, yeah, I'm not in love with her. Yeah, I don't have feelings. This is all like,
which is you're not. I don't believe that either. It's like gotta have some feeling. And they said that's what they called her. I was like, your story doesn't. If you're gonna make up a story, make it make sense a little bit.
Yeah. The note was so amazing. Well, well, thank you. You know, like seriously, compliment to me because I'm so good at acting like I'm in love. Because who does that? You know what I'm saying? Like, stop it. And that just goes to show where she was. And it's just it's a defense mechanism. You're being called out, and people that are that way, they have to defend them, and that's the way to do it. They just have to lie when they get backed in a corner.
I do question if we get when they're doing the check-in, we talked to Andrea in the beginning, and she is saying, she's like, yeah, I still get a text every morning, like da.
Right.
I think she's that type of person. I know I've been in situations like this. I'm sure you guys know people that sort of publicly say one thing, like, you know, I don't know why this person's texting me, I don't really want, but then behind closed doors, they're kind of entertaining it a little bit. I'm not saying she wants to be, but I do think she's being more in the relationship that, or whatever it is, then she's coming out and telling them. Just because someone's texting every morning, you don't want it. It's like you change your number, you block their number. There's so many different things you would do.
Absolutely.
To not just be like, I don't know, every morning, ha ha ha.
Right.
And you answering or no?
Well, again, this is 10 years, right? So it's easier said than done.
Right.
Yes,
Oh,
I'm sure
absolutely.
she was upset at the situation. She was mad, especially because she wouldn't kind of own up to a lot of her stuff. And in that moment, you show how you feel.
Yeah.
But once everything is done, you still miss that person. That person was still there for
10
you.
years of your life.
That's
a
a long
friendship.
chunk. That's a long
Yeah.
chunk of time, and especially in those formative years. I mean, that's like teenage.
very true.
You know,
Developing
18.
your-
Yeah.
Growing up together,
Exactly.
that's
All of those
tough.
things. You know, so I mean, it's again, it's harder to let go. So, and I think on both ends. On both ends.
I would agree. Yeah.
But then, why does Christine say she's not hitting her up at all?
Because she's trying to put this
Because
front like
she's-
she ain't
to me,
crazy.
yeah, that's
Again,
right.
she's lying. It
told that
goes
to
back
me.
to her story because she doesn't want to look like she's a liar.
Because she fronting.
Exactly.
If she admits that she's hitting her up still, we all characterize her as like some crazy psycho catfish that is out of her mind. If she doesn't admit it, she thinks we're all going to be like, oh, she's so normal now. That we're not thinking that.
Right.
But it doesn't look good if you're like, yeah, I text her every morning.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh,
So
I just want to know the truth. Like, what
That's
if?
What?
What if Christine
Let's get
isn't?
some predictions here.
What if Christine isn't hitting her up?
Mm-hmm.
And
She's lying, and she's the liar.
And yeah, whatever her face is like, because she sent the text to Max.
But anyone can
right.
change a name up top.
Right, that seems a little like when you lie and you like go so elaborate into the story about
Right.
lying,
Compensating.
Right.
Yeah.
you overcompensate.
Yeah.
Like, what if she's not texting her?
I say this. Let's
ahead.
let's go into actual predictions and then we'll predict. Let's do that.
Sure.
Let's
Do it.
do it.
Let's get it.
Now, your AfterBuzz TV.
They're really good.
Coming up next on America's Best Dance. Stay tuned. by the way.
MTV. It's all MTV. All right, Jimmy, since you said it, you start
get it.
off. Predictions right now. What is going on between Christine and our girl, Andria?
In my mind, I'm thinking Christine is still hitting her up because I've been there where you have a friendship that you just can't let go. You go from talking every single day. You can't just drop that cold.
Right.
So I believe she's still hitting her up and Andrea's entertaining it.
Jeff, what do you think?
Andrea has made a fake profile by the name of Teresa and is talking to Christine every day about how in love with her she is. And she's moving to St. Louis tomorrow to be with Christine for the rest of their lives.
But she's
And
gonna
then-
get on house arrest.
And then they're going to drink medicine together and live in...
Are they sick or they just
No, like
drink?
overdose on medicine.
Oh.
Like poison.
Like Jim Jones type
And
stuff?
then they're going to live together for the rest of their lives in another alternate universe
What a prediction.
that they're
Okay.
currently
Did you drink
really
medicine?
Right.
living
Before
in.
this?
What's up with this
Right.
cup
Yeah,
going
what's
on?
in there?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, sure.
Well, my other panelists are batshit crazy, similar to the people on the show today. I have to say, the reason I was so disappointed with the show is because I got zero genuine emotion or story from anyone except for Max, but I still think he's frustrated about his movie and taking it out on this girl. Either way, fine, I think it'll be funny. But I think that they're both just in on it. Like, this was a catfish in the beginning, but once she admitted she was a girl and sent pictures, it wasn't a catfish anymore. It's just a effed up correspondence of two people that
Situation.
care about each other but don't care about each other.
Right.
And I just think they're both full of shit. Ooh. Oh, that's fine. I've said shit
yeah,
before
yeah.
on this. Okay.
Yeah.
That's just how I feel.
This one's
Yeah.
fucked. We're just
Okay. Woo, at least something.
We're gonna have
got,
a
Lem?
rating on it. Okay, so
retweet.
right, retweet. All right, so I think that they're still in correspondence with each other. I absolutely feel that they are. I think that I believe that Andrea has kind of relinquished her feelings, the love part or whatever was her heart was attached. I think she's cut that off. I think Christine has not, because I think Andrea is all Christine has. I think that she's a lonely person. I think she doesn't have any friends or, anybody that she's close to. And she did say that, and I do agree with that, and I believe that. And I think Andrea was her scapegoat, was the, person
Yeah.
she could talk to. That's why when she was out with her other friends, Andrea Christine would hit her up 25 times a night because she had no one else to talk
Nobody
to.
else.
You know what I'm saying? So, and again, they grew up together. Like, if you really want to, like I said, from 12 to 21, again, that's a long period, an important period of your life that cements in the
right.
brain. So that's what I think.
I think you're very close to the truth of the story. I would say that.
I think what I would be interesting, because I know they do this sometimes, but they do follow-up stories, and I would be interested to see how right now, like, you know what I'm saying? Who knows? I
don't want to hear any more BS from these people. I would be interested in like seeing what is on their phone and being a fly on the wall, the real story. Kind of stuff. But I don't want to hear them be like,
you don't hear them
I don't
lie.
Text her. She texts me.
Right.
You don't want to hear that. Over it.
It's just back and forth, back and forth.
Right.
They ain't buying what you're selling.
Not buying what you're selling because you're selling them wolf tickets, right? Basically. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was our show. We want to thank you again for tuning in. Man, this is just crazy. You were going to say something. You were going to say something.
I was going to say something.
Jeff, what were you going to say?
I thought it was really nice of Camille at the very end of her Skype session to wish Nev and Max a beautiful life. Oh. She said, have a beautiful life. That was so sweet.
That's the most genuine thing we got all episode.
That was.
She's full of bullshit.
Yeah. Everybody. So anyway, that was our show. I've been your host, Lem Gonsalves. Again, you can find me on social media at The Poet Saint, and that's on all the channels, all the networks, all the good. Nicholas, where can they find you?
You guys can find me Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, at Nicholas Grava. Tweet me what you guys think of this episode and all past episodes thus far.
Hit me up at Hit me up on Instagram and Twitter at Jeff_Thurm, and don't forget the hashtag ABTV Real.
Catfish.
Realizing real.
Real.
Oh, yeah.
ABTV really real. Hope you really like this episode. Also, stay tuned for the America's Best Dancer After Show with Lem and myself after this.
Yes.
It's your boy Jimmy V. You can find me at Be Your Own Dad on Twitter, on the gram, on Periscope. I want to shout out 2 people who said they were tuning in. Nicole and Joey, I see you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and everybody else who did tune in.
And make sure you also, on top of the realizing real hashtag, make sure you use the hashtag ABTV Catfish. And if you use that, we will definitely retweet you. And we want to know what you think about this episode. We want to know what you think. Let us know.
We want you to tell us we are 100% right. So go ahead.
We want to know what you think about us more than the episode, though.
Pretty much. That's what we want. So anyway, till next time, we'll see you later.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.